It's going to be sharing the stories, letting people see that we are talking about Americans. All they lack is a piece of paper, that they are Americans through and through. This is the country they've known, this is their home, and this is where they need to stay.
6 months of fighting ahead for the tens of thousands of dreamers who call America home right here in Arizona. 15 states, including Washington, D.C., are suing the Trump administration over plans to end the DACA program. Arizona not amongst that, I should clarify. Attorney General Jeff Sessions making the announcement on Tuesday, giving Congress 6 months to find a legislative solution for immigrants. And just minutes ago this morning, President Trump tweeting out, for all those DACA that are concerned about your status during the 6-month period, you have nothing to worry about. No action. So where does that really leave the some 800,000 dreamers now? Immigration attorney Liz Chatham is joining us this morning to explain what those currently protected from deportation under DACA should be doing now and the steps that they should be taking. I mean, you know, the sentiment of comfort this morning coming from the president or not, 6 months will be here and gone in a blink.
Right.
So these people need to think about what they're going to be doing for the rest of their lives, essentially. So what should they be looking at right now in expectation that they will have to be deported potentially?
I think the first thing is to make sure that you understand when your status expires.
Okay.
So if your DACA status expires prior to March 5th, you must file a renewal application before October 5th.
Okay.
And if your status expires after March 5th of 2018, you're not eligible to submit a renewal.
And those renewals are for 2-year time periods? Okay.
Yes, and so if your status expires anytime after March 5th, your DACA status expires on that day. So since you're not eligible for renewal, then your work permit would not be able to be renewed through DACA.
Okay.
You'd have to probably speak to an immigration attorney that you trust and determine if there's an alternative strategy, a more permanent strategy. And that's a really difficult situation for a lot of kids because of the way they may have entered at the time, the age they were at when they obtained DACA. It might be difficult to transition to a different status. So really what needs to happen in the next 6 months in terms of the future of DACA in general is a more permanent congressional mandate of passing legislation that protects the 800,000 plus qualifying people for DACA. There's so many that didn't even apply because they weren't of the age to be eligible to even submit an application.
Oh, and what age is that?
You have to enter before the age of 16 and you have to be 15 years old to file a DACA application.
Okay, not younger than that.
Not younger than 15.
So what about those people who have a driver's license now and that driver's license is current for who knows however many years? Would that essentially be ineligible once this status is up in 2018?
Generally, yes. Every state has different rules as to what requirements are necessary to apply for a driver's license. In Arizona, if you were DACA eligible and received a work permit, you were allowed to obtain a driver's license. The license is only good until the expiration of your DACA status.
Okay.
So if your driver's license expires after March 5th, because that's when your DACA expired, you would not be eligible to get a new driver's license or renew it through the DACA-based program.
Liz, you told me briefly that a lot of the calls you've been getting are not necessarily from these dreamers worried about deportation, but from employers who are worried about maintaining their workforce or want to be able to keep these employees eligible. So there's a lot to navigate from many perspectives.
Yes, and just recently, the big tech companies, their chief legal officers and CEOs have come out and said that this is necessary, this program is necessary to protect these kids and these workers. They're part of, they're our neighbors, they're our coworkers, they're business owners, they're buying homes. About 65% of DACA recipients are purchasing cars because now they can get a driver's license. You're seeing the ripple effect in our economy. The GDP is going to decrease, the estimates are by $500 million if you remove 800,000 eligible consumers and workers from our workforce.
Well, Liz, we'll have to leave it there. I imagine it's going to be a busy time for immigration attorneys, and certainly make sure that you're being careful about who you are seeing, because this will also be a time when
For
people will
notarias,
be
yes.
taken advantage of as they're trying to navigate this. So we will continue to check in on the latest developments. But again, we just shared the president's comments about that earlier this morning. Liz Chatham, thank you so much. We appreciate your perspective this morning. Time now is 7:22. We'll take a quick break. Be right back.